Look at what he's done this year, and it has not been pretty, neither statistically nor on the field. Through the first 4 games, he's yet to get into the end zone, and we've seen him have a couple of sideline tantrums. Some people say he's been a distraction to his team. We're going to talk about that right now, including the fact that Odell Beckham Jr. says right now he's not having any fun playing football. And I want you guys to discuss that and everything considering Mr. Beckham right now. And I want to start with you, though, Jimmie, though. As a head coach, what do you do when you've got a player like this? Who is this good?
Kurt, I've had players like Beckham, and his behavior is not only affecting his play, it's hurting the team. And his behavior is that way because it's allowed that way. It should have been corrected a year ago, really. The head coach has got to step in, and he's got to correct that behavior, or it's going to continue on. Now, I refer back to Bobby Bowden, handling a player like that. You got a baby bird, and you want to control this baby bird to where it doesn't fly away. But you don't want to squeeze it so tough that he suffocates.
That sounds like a Bradshaw story.
It sure did. Well, and I agree with you, Jimmie. It has hurt the team. It's been a distraction for the team. But I know this is a guy who's very, very passionate. He's come from the first day in the league, it seems, after he got over the hamstring injury, he's had success. Now he's dropped some balls. He's done some things. He hasn't had the success that he's had the last few years. So for him, it's frustrating. He has not learned yet how to channel that frustration when other teams are picking on you, when guys are talking to you, they're trying to talk you out of your game. He's letting them do it. He hasn't learned how to channel that frustration into success, into that drive to show you on the field, not by cheap shotting you or tantrum. I'm going to show you on the field by my play. Once he learns to do that, he's already a great player. He could be even greater, but he has to learn to change that approach.
Don't you think, and I know a lot of our viewers out there, they don't quite understand, when people say, well, he's passionate, that's why he acts like that. I think most folks would think like I think, that he's just a selfish guy.
No.
I do.
I don't think so.
I think he's selfish. I don't think he cares about anybody else but himself, which makes him selfish. And the fact that he's not having a great year only points to himself and says, well, I'm not having any fun, so on and so forth. But what about the other receivers? Because of his greatness, if you say that, Cruz and the other receivers are having good years.
Yeah, but you have to have fun in order to have success.
And I know, Howard, you got something to say, but I got to say, this is not a guy who's mad at other guys that are having great years. I think he expects so much of himself. He's not a selfish player. He's not a selfish guy. He's a great teammate to have. He's very fun and playful. But on the field, he has a switch that great players have. Yeah. He just has not learned how to channel that. But I don't think he's a selfish player.
The head coach has got to step in and show him the way.
And it might have ended up costing your old coach's job last year.
Yeah.
I can't think of a player who's had more of a meteoric rise, maybe RG3. And this guy's play, in many cases, is dependent on the play calling and the quarterback getting him the football. That's the wide receiver position. He plays in New York City. He makes one of the greatest catches in NFL history. It's dubbed the greatest catch in NFL history. It's a lot to throw. The guy's on television almost as much as Peyton Manning. It's a lot to throw at a young guy. There's a lot of expectations. He puts that on himself. His team puts it on him. The team puts it on him. And also the media puts it on him, and the fans put it on him. He feels a lot of pressure to deliver. I don't think he's selfish. I think it's immaturity, and I think he's got to grow up. And I think for the first time, I sense this week he took a long, hard look at how he was behaving, and I think he's serious about making. How do you cover Odell Beckham Jr.? The best way to cover Odell Beckham Jr. is to get him out of his game. That's it.
Well, and the way you get him out of his game is obviously the way defensive backs have done right now. They've been on him, they're in his head, and it seems to be affecting him on the field. Hopefully, like you said, towards the end of the week, he said, I'm looking at myself. I don't want a 6-year-old to emulate me. Maybe the message is finally getting through.
There's not a receiver in the history of the National Football League that can't be taken out of a game. Not Jerry Rice, not Odell Beckham. He's going to have to learn to live with that and beat it.